Israel deploys troops to its northern border, sparking renewed fears of a ground offensive into Lebanon.
Several people were injured after guided aerial bombs hit Zaporizhia, with the city's regional head saying more may still be trapped under the rubble.
Polls open in Austria's parliamentary elections, with the far-right Freedom Party tipped to win.
Around 39,000 people attended Pope Francis's farewell mass on the final day of the pontiff's visit to Belgium.
Israel has deployed troops near the border with Lebanon a day after the airstrikes in Beirut that killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. The troop build-up follows comments from the Israeli military on Wednesday that it was preparing for a possible ground operation in Lebanon. Israeli warplanes have continued to bombard Beirut, with the health ministry reporting 33 people killed across Lebanon on Saturday. The IDF released footage on Saturday it says showed strikes on Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon. Meanwhile, hundreds of displaced families have been sleeping in public spaces in Beirut as the Israeli aerial assault continues. Many families took shelter in public squares and beaches or in their cars in the city centre, which has so far been spared from the barrage. And across the border in Israel, Tel Aviv residents took shelter as sirens sounded throughout the city. The Israeli military said a missile launch from Yemen was intercepted shortly after the sirens were heard. There were no reports of any injuries.
At least 13 people were injured after Russia attacked the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia with guided bombs overnight. The aerial bombs reportedly hit the city 13 times, with one of the strikes hitting and partially destroying a residential high-rise building. The head of the city's regional military administration said more people may still be trapped under the rubble. Meanwhile, the death toll has risen to 10 after Russia attacked a hospital in Ukraine's city of Sumy on Saturday, with another 22 injured. Russia reportedly hit the hospital twice. Most of the fatalities occurred during the second strike, which hit as emergency services arrived at the scene and as patients evacuated. 125 Ukrainian drones were shot down over Russia on Sunday, the country's defense ministry said, sparking a wildfire and setting an apartment block on fire. A local governor in the Russian city of Voronezh said a residential apartment was hit. No casualties were reported. Voting is underway in Austria's parliamentary election, with the far-right Freedom Party tipped to win in what would be their first ever election victory. They've campaigned on an Austria First platform, but if the party fails to secure an outright majority, finding coalition partners might be tricky. Polling second is the conservative Austrian People's Party, led by incumbent Chancellor Karl Nehammer. At his campaign rally, he ruled out a coalition with the Freedom Party and urged supporters to vote for him to prevent the far right from coming to power. The Social Democratic Party, headed by Andreas Babler, are polling in third place and have also ruled out teaming up with the Freedom Party, calling them a threat to democracy. Rounding out the top five are the Liberal Neos Party, who are neck and neck with junior coalition partner, the Greens.
Well, the autumn sun shining down at the King Baudouin Stadium here in Belgium for the final day of the visit of Pope Francis. There's a crowd here of around 39,000 people as he says Mass. In his homily, Pope Francis talked about the importance for mercy for those who have made mistakes, for compassion for those suffering, including asylum seekers and refugees. And once again, he referred to the marketplace in relation to the impact it has on social injustice and social inequality. But for all this adoring crowd here today, it's undoubted that the visit of Pope Francis to Belgium has been dominated by the legacy of child sexual abuse, both here and across the world. He was called upon by Prime Minister De Croo, by the King of Belgium and by survivors themselves to compensate those who have suffered and to do more. Shona Murray, Euronews, King Baudouin Stadium.